Hey guys, it's Adi here with MyNokiaBlog, and this is going to be our Lumia 520 user review. So check it out. So first off, I'd like to say that the Lumia 520 is actually quite a difficult device for me as a personal user to use, to review, because it's not the type of device that I would purchase for myself, because considering what I do and as a tech fanatic, I would not go for an entry-level smartphone rather than a high-power phone such as the 925, 920, or even now the 1020. So I'd like you all to keep in mind while reviewing this that although I might sound critical on some points of the device, keep in mind that this is an entry-level smartphone for a lot of people who are first-time smartphone owners, and the fact that this costs $130 off contract. So whatever I'm going to be saying should be taken into relevance compared to a $600 phone to a $130 phone. So there's a big gap between the two, which makes up for a lot of what I would call the 520's shortcomings. So starting off with the design, first of all, the Lumia 520 does not lose any points there. It has the beautiful Lumia-esque design with the polycarbonate back and, nice definite corners, finish, smooth, Nokia, very simple, not cluttered, with the 3 buttons on the side, your micro USB on the bottom, a plain left, and your 3.5mm headphone jack at the top. So in terms of actual design, I'd give it, rank it right besides the 720, well, a bit below the 720, honestly. So there's no problems with the design. In terms of actual hardware, I've done a review in comparison about how the Lumia 520 does with its 512 megabytes of RAM and 1 GHz processor. You can check out a gaming review here, and you can check out a comparison with the 920 here. So if you haven't seen those, check them out. In terms of actual physical hardware, I'd have to say the lack of a CBD or clear black display is slightly disappointing. As you can see, you're getting a lot of reflection of the camera and me, hi guys, in the screen, and that's because it does not have Nokia's polarized anti-reflective screen, which I've gotten used to and spoiled by on the Lumia 920, 820, and every other Lumia device except the 520. But once again, $130 phone, not going to hold it against it, especially since other competitor phones such as the iPhone don't even have a clear black display. So another thing I'd like to mention about the hardware of the device is the buttons on the side. Since the Lumia 520 is a user removable shell where you can just pop it off, if you give me a moment I'll do so and show you guys what I'm talking about. The buttons sometimes don't match up properly. I personally had a lot of trouble getting the camera shutter button to click properly. In the end, I just started taking images through tapping the screen because I gave up completely on pressing down on the shutter button. It seemed to get the job done to activate the camera, but I just couldn't really reach the second stage of the shutter even while realigning the keys many times. So I'll try showing you guys. So if I press all the way down, as you can see, I'm pressing all the way down and it's not even turning on right now. But let's try again from here. And it's not working since the buttons seem to be malaligned again. So I'm going to take off the cover, insert the camera button first, secure it, and like I said, it's a hit and miss really with the camera button. I've never had any real success with it. I think it might be my device only, but I was slightly disappointed on that term in build quality because I'm used to superior Nokia build quality, and I found this kind of disturbing. I think, I'm probably sure if I took it to Nokia Care Center they would fix it or they'd tell me how to do it properly, but I was just too lazy. So that's just one thing I had to remark on. In terms of software performance with Windows Phone 8, the Lumia 520 performs admirably well. It gives you all the basic features that you get from your Windows Phone 8 device, your high-end Lumias on such a low-budget device. You have your Nokia Music, your Hear Maps, your Smart Shoot, Cinemagraph, Office, all these features that come packed in with the highest end of the Lumias will come to the lowest end, and that's something great, especially for, as a device for kids, a multimedia device. It functions just as fine as any other Lumia, and the fact is that the lack of RAM does not affect those functions at all, which is great. In terms of actual photo and video quality, the Lumia 520 is a mixed bag. The 520 takes some nice pictures, but it actually does not have a flash. As you can see, the back is plain, so your pictures are not lit up at all. But let's take a look at some of the images I captured and photos. The pictures actually have some nice close-up focus. better than some of the other devices I've seen, but at the same time the lack of flash could be an issue for some. So here we have a picture of the Android dude. It's a nice picture for the phone with a 5 megapixel camera, pretty good. And here's a close-up picture I was taking of my NEX. Check out the ridges in the camera. That's pretty nice. I like that as a close-up. Comparison photo. Let's zoom that in. You can see the picture quality is nice. The color reproduction is very pretty. And here's another one. I'll post these all in another post, but this was just to see how it deals with lots of text in macro mode or close-up mode. And as you can see, it does pretty well. And the only problem focusing sometimes is blurry. I mean, here we have the pure view. It's not as crisp as it could be, but you know, once again, $130 smartphone. I'm not going to say anything about that. In terms of video quality, however, I was disappointed with the output. You guys can check out a video sample somewhere. There's sure to be an annotation popping up on your screen right now. So what I noticed in video quality, and as I mentioned in that video, is the fact that the Lumia 720 when filming in Lumia 520 when filming in 720p actually has some stuttering and dropped frames, and the audio cuts out, and I found that really disappointing. I mean, the video looked okay in terms of colors, but the actual processing or recording process wasn't really that impressive. I think it was probably due to, I don't know, lack of RAM, lack of low processor. I'm not sure what it was, but I found that really disturbing, and that would be my only complaint about the Lumia 520. And I guess that's me wrapping it up. I'd have to say the Lumia 520 is a great device, and even though all those things I mentioned, it's still a $130 phone. And I really was trying to be as critical as possible to show you, I mean, at the very low end of the spectrum, what Nokia pull out. And it really is impressive, beautiful design. It has a nice screen, minus the lack of CBD. It's a nice phone, very nice to use, and a lot of people will love it. Windows Phone 8 is amazing on it. There's just those little things I talked about, and maybe the software and the video could be fixed in a software update. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's relative compared to what you're used to. So I'm just trying to give you guys an honest review. Hope you guys like it. If you have a 520, do you have any of the issues I mentioned? If not, I guess I'm wrong. You know, I could always be a user device issue.